Hello and welcome to the gallery. This time we won't be painting any models, but we still have stuff to do. On the thumbnail you might have seen a Daemon Prince and Angron, and we'll get to those bad boys in a little bit. But for returning visitors, you might have noticed that the backdrop has changed a little bit over the past 2 weeks. Now, I felt really bad about my painting situation. The desk was completely covered in painting racks, and it was quite untidy, as was most of my little office space here at home. So I decided to change it up a little bit, to get some wall-mounted racks for my paints, and clearing the table a little bit to have a little bit more room. So I spent a little bit of time moving shelves around, doing this and that, and changed the entire setup to fit my needs more specifically. It still may be a little bit cluttered, but it's my kind of cluttered. The stuff is where I want it to be, and I know what I'm looking for and what I'm looking at, especially with the decorations on the table behind me and in the shelves and everything like that. Now on to the main thing, a Daemon Prince of Khorne and Angron, the Primarch of the World Eaters. In this video, we're just gonna assemble them, because I just got these two guys, and I can't keep my grimy little mitts off them. I really want to see what they look like fully assembled. Now to change it up a little bit further, while I'm assembling them, and you're looking at a small montage of that, I'm gonna do a little bit of reading, a little bit about what they are and how I think about them after a fashion. Let's start with the Daemon Prince and go a little bit into the concept of the Daemon Prince while we're doing it. Daemon Princes are the epitome of mortal dreams. That is to say, the dreams of mortals who are drawn to the service of the Chaos Gods, or indeed Chaos Undivided. They see the path to glory as a good thing, and the goal is to become one of those powerful entities with all the dark blessings of their god. All the gods have their own take on these princes, but this time let us focus on the blood god Khorne. Khorne does not care for who you are and where you come from, as long as you appease his appetite for bloodletting and skull-taking. If you were a lowly mongrel or a space marine leader, it matters not to Khorne. Khorne will favor you if he deems your gifts and acts worthy. Becoming a blood prince will grant you with great boons of strength and power. You will become a monstrous force, not easily reckoned with, unkillable, but unlike Angron, the Demon Primarch, you can be banished back to the warp, sadly, only to have your rage increase over the next millennia, until you return to real space to wreak havoc. Even though mortals who seek and gain this power are glad to receive it, they are yet but tools to the blood god. He invests a portion of his power in them, warping them for his purpose, not theirs. But he is strangely honest about it. Take his powerful gifts and kill in his name with abandon, and that is indeed the goal of the ones who serve him in any case. So even if, in this, they do become puppets of the Lord of Skulls, it matters not. The dark bloodlust and rage that is within them is heightened, and they are a whole in the murderous new form. Is it a good thing? No, not for anyone involved except the murderous Khorne, but these doomed demon-infested souls do not mind. They got what they wanted. Assembling this Daemon Prince, I used only the coordinate parts that were there, and instead of the power pack, I wanted wings on him. Could I have used magnets to have options? Perhaps, but maybe later I'll get another one and do that. I also felt that the amount of skulls on his base was lacking. Not a sentence often associated with Warhammer minis. But this is for Khorne, and therefore skulls galore is the way forward with this nasty little piece of business. Let's see how he looks, assembled with a guest appearance of the older model of a Daemon Prince. Now that we've put him together, and he looks nice, there's no arguing that fact. He's a lot more interesting than the old, really outdated Daemon Prince model. But now it's time for the main attraction, the Demon Primarch of the World Eaters, Angron. Let's take a look at him. Angron might have had a different story, but alas, that was not to be. He was cast to the world of Nuceria, and originally was known as a caring and benign protector, filled with empathy, and all in all a kind soul. But in the gladiatorial pits he had that stripped from him with the implantation of the butcher's nails, a piece of technology that worked his sensibilities and heightened his rage and his maliciousness, and drove all kind feelings from him, as they were never intended for a creature like him, no mere mortal, but a Primarch. He became the manifestation of anger, but still only a Primarch. The gruesome legacy of the butcher's nails he spread to his sons, the World Eaters, then called Warhounds, after the Emperor took him from the planet, and slight and brutal fights with his own legion occurred. The removal of Angron from Nuceria was not done on his behest, for he was in the midst of an uprising, leading a force of ex-gladiators fighting for their freedom against the oppressing and, dare I say, evil governmental structures of the planet. Even back then, Angron had problems with authority, something that was not going to change in the near future. Once everybody's favorite son turned evildoer Horus started a slight scuffle in the galaxy, Angron was all in on the plan, seeing it as a way to get from under the foot of another who would control him, his domineering father, the Emperor. This was, spoiler alert, ultimately a big failure, as Horus fell and Angron got a fair bit of whooping during the years of the heresy. However, not so much of a failure for the Primarch's new patron, Khorne, who warped the already raging monster of a Primarch into an unrelenting rage demon he is today. The tactics of Angron felt fitting and delightful to Khorne. Hitting stuff as much as and as hard as you can until it stops moving is simple, direct, and strangely honest of a bloodbath. So Angron became the Demon Primarch of Khorne, and now the model of him is here to show how this transformation has altered him to a more Khornite form, a giant red monstrosity that cannot be truly killed or banished. The hate-filled Angron will return, always, even if sent back to the warp he will return. He still has the butcher's nails implanted in him, and wields Spine-Grinder, a chain axe of immense size, and Semniarius, a hell-forged sword that he himself crafted by beating a Slaneshi demon with an iron bar often and hard enough to merge them into one sword. The figure itself I have not fully put together, as much as I am going to do. It is in sub-assemblies to make the task of painting it a bit easier on me, but let's blue tack some bits on him here and there, so we can get a decent enough look at what we have, and even see how he sizes up to one of his other chaos-filled brothers, Magnus. Now Magnus stands a bit taller and prouder, but you cannot deny the sheer physical brutality of the Angron miniature we have here. Now in the near future we are going to paint up both of these models. Of course, why on earth would I have them if I was not going to paint them? And also I'm thinking about getting even more World Eaters, because there's something fun about this faction. I have a few thousand sons, and they are fun in what they do. I have Chaos Knights, and they are fun in what they do. But the idea of showing up to a table and just moving everything forward and hitting stuff until it stops moving sounds like a good day. So, we're going to build more World Eaters in the future, some 8-bound, who knows what else, and we're going to have some fun with these Khorne Berserker types. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me here today. There are links in the description for all kinds of stuff, social media and various tidbits. I'd recommend checking out the Patreon campaign. That is the thing that will most help out this channel in the future. Also, I have an Amazon affiliate store where you can find all the knickknacks you might need for hobbying or painting. I'll get a small kickback at no extra cost to you. You do with this information what you will. Like and share and subscribe, all that usual stuff, but mainly let the colors flow. But until next time, farewell.